Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host Rob. This video we're going to do our next review of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This episode was entitled S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay, guys, welcome back. So, this is one of the things that frustrates me about some of these shows, in particular this one. Last week, we saw the episode where Mike Peterson, at the very end, was in the bed. He had the I Spy cam in his head, and he was burnt, bruised, beat up. And this week, there's no going back to that at all. We go into a completely different direction. That doesn't mean I'm knocking this episode. It's a little frustrating because I really like the Centipede arc. But at the end of this episode, I was very, very pleased with the result. First of all, a lot of things happen in this episode. You visit the Academy of S.H.I.E.L.D., in particular the one where the students work on, the technology, the science, things of that nature, the geeks basically. And Agent Wards, Fitz and Simmons, Sky, they all go there to investigate basically a case in where some kids jump into a pool. The pool suddenly froze up and they barely made it out alive. Now, it wasn't a big secret. I mean, I think right off the gate, anyone with a brain can figure out that one of these kids that were in that scene is involved with the tech. So that wasn't a big surprise later on when you found out who was involved. But what was interesting about the show, this particular episode, was that you see a character, and I can't remember his name right now because he was very brief on the show, and he was on one other episode. I think it might have been episode 2 or 3, where he is this guy that kind of stays out of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s airspace. I mean, he knows S.H.I.E.L.D. wants him, but he stays just out of their reach, just out of their jurisdiction. He does a lot of black market stuff, a lot of bad deals, and apparently he made a deal with these kids to develop, I guess, some sort of weapon that can freeze the moisture in the air around you and essentially kill people who are in the area. So the kids were testing it and things of that nature, and in the campus, and they were leading basically Fitz and Simmons to come back to the academy, so that way they could kind of lure one of them to help them finish developing the technology to build a larger version of this weapon. A little far-fetched. I mean, you can plan something that elaborate, but the chances of it coming to pass are slim to none. Obviously, on a TV show, that's going to happen, so that's what happened. So that part, I was a little bit like, okay, so they basically started this whole plan because they know that there's just a slight chance that of all the scientists that have graduated from the academy and that are working for S.H.I.E.L.D. as agents right now, they're going to happen to get Fitz and Simmons on the case. I mean, it's a little far-fetched for me. Even if Fitz and Simmons, according to the storyline, are the top of their class, the best students in the history of the academy, they could have sent anyone there. But nonetheless, we'll go with that. So Fitz basically befriends one of the students who's got a hard time socializing with other kids. And you can tell that this kid's involved. I mean, they don't really keep it a secret. It's so obvious. But, he's being manipulated by another kid. It's almost like it was very similar to, if you've ever seen that movie, it was with Sandra Bullock, this other guy who's very popular now. Oh my God, I can't remember his name. But I wish I could remember the name of that movie because it was a very, very similar storyline where there was one kid who had social skills, the other kid was a popular kid, and he was manipulating the kid with social skills. And in that movie, basically, they wanted to perform the perfect murder where they couldn't get caught. I know someone's going to name it in the comments. So, and I can't even remember the name of the actor. That's what bothers me because he's like, I think it's Gosling, Brian Gosling. Is that his name? He was very young in the movie. I know his last name is Gosling. I can't remember his first name, but he was in the movie Sandra Bullock, and it was a decent movie, but very very similar storyline to that, and but other things happen as well. You get last week we got Coulson's story as to what happened to him. Now because he knows what happened to him, he's turned a new leaf. Now he wants to be very honest. He wants everybody in the crew to be open. So it was a very funny moment where he's sitting in Lola, his red car, his convertible, and he's on a mission with May, him and May, while everybody else is at the academy, and May's trying to get him out of this funk about what happened with him, and which I don't know why she would. I mean, let the guy, the guy's been through a traumatic experience. But anyway, that's neither here or there. So he's talking about how he wants everyone, the honesty has to come out. There's no more hiding things, this and that. And then there's this quiet pause, and May's like, me and Ward are having sex. And then right after she says that, Coulson's like, there he is, because they were staking somebody out. It was just hilarious the way that happened. And basically he found out the past of Sky, and he told her, and it had something to do with 084. And if you remember in episode 2, 084 stood for something. Now I forget. It pisses me off. I was just reading about it a second ago, because when they said it on the episode, I remembered right away. I said, oh, 084, wasn't that an episode in the show? And it was. So I went back and I looked it up, because I wanted to remember the story of the episode at the time. I didn't remember everything, but I just remembered that there was indeed an episode called 084. And I'm pulling it up right here because I couldn't remember once again. So 084 stands for an object of unknown origin. So something with Sky related to a 084 was very interesting. He was explaining it to her, and then as he was telling her about it, the dialogue started fading, and then music started, and so you didn't get the whole thing, but Sky's special, and Sky's basically a child of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's what it comes down to. She's a child of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, but I'm sure they're going to elaborate that on that some more. Look, it was a good episode. I mean, it's getting better, and I think the other cool thing is, well, I'll make a separate video about that, but the only other thing that bothers me is now we have to wait 3 weeks again for the newest episode. I don't know what these breaks do. I thought we had a break already, and we got 2 new episodes, and now we got to wait 3 weeks for another new episode. Same thing with Almost Human. We have to wait 3 weeks for another new episode. So, but in a way, that's kind of cool. It gives me an opportunity to catch up on some other things on my channel that I want to keep working on. But yeah, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. It's just I get a little frustrated with the whole. You end with Mike Peterson and the whole thing last week, and then you go this week and there's nothing about him. However, we did find out at the very end of the episode that the gentleman who wanted to construct this weapon, who was in, I think it was episode 3, the Asset. I think that's the one where he was in. I know his first name, I think, is something along the lines of Ian, but he hasn't been on the show very much. But when I saw him, I recognized him. And apparently he's in cahoots with the clairvoyant. He's on the phone with Coulson, and he says, by the way, the clairvoyant sends their regards. So it looks like he's involved with Centipede. It looks like Centipede is really starting to show its face a little bit, and I'm cool with that. And that's really what's got me intrigued right now, is the whole Centipede story arc. And then after that scene, they show the kid who was involved with creating that device, and it looks like he contracted some elements of the machine he created, because when he's driving away in the car, he's going like this. He has like an Iceman effect on the window. So it looks like he's gained some superpowers. So it's going to be pretty interesting. And then in 3 weeks, looks like a lot of stuff's going to go down. Stan Lee is supposed to be in that new episode coming up in 3 weeks. So, it's not bad. I mean, it's not bad. I know a lot of people don't watch it anymore. I have a little more than a handful of people here on my channel that still watch the review, but I gotta be honest, it's not bad at all. So anyway, guys, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next video.